Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for September 3rd. Is that right? 13th? Yeah, 13th, 2020. So, I have very low energy today. I spent yesterday afternoon buying a car, which I meant to do in the next couple months, but things just kind of happened where it was probably better to buy the car now. And it was kind of a stressful situation for me. I hadn't bought a car in 21 years. So I hadn't done that in a while. So that was all my whole afternoon. And but I have a beautiful blue Honda CR-V in my garage now that barely fits, but it's here. So car payment. Anyway, so that I have to get used to as well. Anyway, I'm really tired, and I think because I knew I was going to buy the car, I think the last couple days have been, I've not read like much of anything at all. So the books I'm going to show you are all the stuff I read in the first part of the week when I hadn't really decided if I was going to buy this week. But anyway, so I thought I'd just show you. So we'll just go through them. So I'll do what I read and what I in the middle of, and then, you know, what I think I might read this week. I don't know. So I did finish the Moomin book. This is the first volume of Tove Jansson's comic, you know, so it's just the Moomins, and yeah, they didn't do anything for me. Maybe if I was younger, it probably would have been more fun, but they were just weird, and it was just an interesting experience. And the reason I read this is that in August, I think, Gemma at Read a Book Gem did a kind of a read-along on Moomin stuff, and I didn't participate in that because I didn't see it till her wrap-up, but I had asked for this from my library because I was reading the summer book at the time by her, which was, you know, a novel, and which I really enjoyed. And so I wanted to see her script, her comic, and again, this is from, I think, the 40s or something, maybe, I don't know anymore, but point is, I didn't really care. Like, I was like, okay, well, that was interesting, weird, I don't need to read that again. I then read Sleepless. This is Sarah Vaughan and Leah Duca, I believe. So those are the writer and the artist. They so it has to do with a former princess. Pretty much her dad has passed away, so his brother takes over, but she's not legitimate. She was born outside, you know what, so she's not she's royal, but she's not, you know, so she's stuck. They won't let her leave to go back to where her mother is, in the country that she's in. And this is, then she also has a sleepless knight who it's like a order of knights who take a vow that they don't ever sleep. And he took it after she was nearly assassinated, several years ago. So they've been together for a while, and so it's been, but again, the turmoil is now her father has passed away, and then the new king has taken over. That's technically her uncle, you know, is her uncle, and then she doesn't get along so well with his wife and daughter, and so it's just kind of political stuff, but it was really an interesting little story. So of course it ended on a cliffhanger, so I don't want to say what happens. But I need to, so I asked for the second one to come from the library. So I don't know how else, I don't want to give away too much else. I just have this cool little animal, which is there all the time. But anyway, the drawings is really nice. And as I said, I really like the diversity in here on the characters and stuff. Overall, I've enjoyed it. So I do want to finish that one. So there's another volume at least. And then the first book I finished was A Disaster Tourist by Yoon Ko Yeon, and this is translated from the Korean by Lizzie Bueller. So this, I was trying to think how to explain this because it's been a week and I'm already like, I don't know about this book. So it really has to do with Yona, who or yeah, I think that's how her name is spelled. She works for a company that does these tour groups that go to different disaster areas. And they have, so that people can go there either just to see the disaster, what happened there, or can actually go when it's just a disaster that just happened. They can go and help with volunteering and cleanup and stuff. So there's like hundreds of packages, and she's been with the company for 10 years. She's pretty much dedicated her life to this, and she has some really good tours that she's done and some really bad ones, and she gets back from one that was a local tsunami, and something's wrong. Everything is different in the office, and it kind of goes downhill from there on her relationship with her company and with the people she works with. And so she is given a choice to, she was going to resign, or they could send her on this last on a trip to go on one of the lowest ranked tours and see why it's so low and if there's a way to save it or whatever. So she goes to this little island, I think it's Mui, and which is off of the coast of Vietnam. And so there's this whole part where she's with the tour, and then things start happening after that happens. So it was really kind of, I mean, again, the first part was really hard with the at the office. That was hard to read through some of that stuff, but I pushed through that, got her on the trip, and then that was all kind of weird. And then something happens, and again, it just kind of changes the dynamic, and then what happens further on, because again, then it comes kind of I would not say a mystery, just things change and get kind of a little more bizarre. I did enjoy this. I didn't love it, though. I think there were parts where I was like, well, what? That didn't really work for me, but I think it still was an interesting novel, and it was weird the way it came out in the end. Again, I'm not gonna give any spoilers that way. I just was like, whoa, really? It just went in different ways than I planned. And, I mean, I don't know. This went so weird. And then there was one spot I marked just here because I forgot I'd put that tab there, is that there's only one spot where I felt that the author kind of manipulated timeline so that I didn't know something, and it was revealed later, which is something I really actually don't like. I hate, not being told when you're telling a story in a timeline, like, you don't, tell the whole thing. You just kind of stop, and we don't get to see the rest of that scene. And sometimes that works, and sometimes it doesn't. And it didn't work for me here because I actually tabbed it going, well, what heck? Because it went on to something else, and it comes back, but it's just like, I did have one little moment like that. But really, overall, it was just an okay read. I think it was fun for part of it. The other part, I'm like, I don't know. So I'm kind of mixed feelings about this one, but I'm glad I read it. It is a book that I got from my library, and I asked them to get it, and they were already buying it, so I just got on the list to get it. And it didn't show up in time for Women in Translation Month, so oops. But that's fine. I read it and got it done. So anyway, so it's kind of a weird one. I mean, again, if you like kind of odd Asian books, that I seem to read a lot of those. It's kind of weird. Anyway, so I finished that. And then I decided to go back and finish The Duke and I by Julie Quinn. Again, this book I had set down when I had that week where I set down like 3 books in a row. They just like pissed me off, and I put it down and I started something else. So I do go through moods like that. It's not normal for me. I'm not usually somebody who puts down that many books. I usually just DNF stuff, or I push through, and that week I just didn't feel like doing either. So I came back to all 3 books that I put down, though, so that tells you something. So this is a historical romance. It's the first book in the Bridgerton series. So I've been wanting to read this because I know there's some adaptation coming out. Not that I'm probably going to watch the adaptation. I'm horrible about movies. I just got the North and South adaptation in the mail because I finally said, I got to watch this. Everybody talks about this, and I'm afraid to watch it because I tried to watch it once, and I watched the first 5 minutes, and they'd already changed 2 things, and I was panicked. So the one off of Elizabeth Gaskell and the one that has Richard Armitage in it. And I hear really great things about it, and that I'm going to love it. And I love that book, and I'm afraid of that movie. So, talk me into that one. Anyway, so this one follows Daphne, and she is the 4th child in a really family of 8 children, and she's the first woman or girl of the group to reach maturity to go out into the season, because this is Regency England. So she has 3 older brothers who are pretty protective, and one of them has one of his best friends just came back who just recently became a duke because his father had passed away, and he had a really bad relationship with his father, so there's a whole side thing with that. So again, they decide, because she's not having the great, like, she's friends with all the guys because she has brothers, so she gets along with all the men, but they don't look at her as a romantic interest that much, except for ones that she doesn't want to deal with, either too old or too, let's just say, not very smart. So they decide, he wants to kind of have all the women stop trying to get him to marry their daughters, because he doesn't want to get married. So they decide to fake date or fake court. So again, it's one of my favorite tropes. I love fake dating tropes. That is one of my favorites. So I did like that part of it. And then something happens in the middle that I'm not sure I buy on how far it went. And then then everything's kind of escalates for a little while. And like, I just think it was, and again, I don't know if this was her first book, but this was, again, back in 2000. So, it's been a while. She's wrote a lot of books since then. So there's a couple of things in here that I feel are very, not newbie writer thing, but definitely early writing romance, you know. I don't know. There's just some things I was like, okay, that's a little too much. But it was so funny most of the time. And I did like the way it went in the end. There was another part where, there's one part where I set it down because I just got upset. And then there was one other part where I almost set it down. So for me, that's not good when there's two parts in it, but I still enjoyed the story overall and the characters. And I did go ahead and buy this next book in the series to see if I like it enough. So I'm going to give it one more shot. Again, I wanted to love this like a lot of people do. I enjoyed a lot of it, but there's just a couple of things where I'm like, I don't know if I buy that. No. So anyway, but I got that done. And I got that done pretty early in the week. I think I got that done like Monday or something, because that's where my reading kind of went downhill. But what day was this? Thursday. I listened to an Audible original that I got in that Audible Plus now that I get, that people, like, I just automatically got. So there's all these things that are new to me that are free. So I went and found a couple of them. And one of them was Meeting Manson, An Uneasy Journey into an American Nightmare by Eric Hindegard. And it's narrated by Mark Boyd. So, Boyd, sorry. This is weird. Okay, so again, you have to understand, I've read a lot of books on Manson. I still have a couple that I want to get to at some point. And they always give me a different perspective about the whole, the family and the Tate LaBianca murders and all that kind of stuff. But really, it is the group mentality that I find fascinating. And again, I've read books on it since I was a teenager. So I listened to this because it was only a couple hours, I think. Yeah, it's like just over 2 hours. And it does have Manson's voice on it because this Rolling Stone writer talked to him for a couple, I don't know, it was a couple years or over a year or something. He was talking to him back and forth on phone calls from the jail. And he also got to go visit him twice. But it was kind of a little bizarre to me. And it was really interesting only because, again, we get more Charles Manson and his crazy talk, and we actually got to hear that in the audiobook, which was good. Again, I've watched a lot of interviews and stuff, so it sounded, it was him. And then he also talked to a couple of the other family members, like Squeaky Frome, although he says it's supposed to be Fromey, but nobody has ever said that in any movie, any documentary that I've ever read. So that was interesting. I didn't know that her last name was said differently. And then Bobby Beausoleil, which was who killed Gary Hinman before him. Anyway, so but it was interesting to get a couple of different perspectives that he talked to, also people from the family, and how they have their own theories of why the murders happened. It was weird. It was a quick thing, so it wasn't very long. I don't think this is a guy that I would like to hang out with, this writer. I don't know. It just things that were good, the way he reacted to certain things, I don't know. It was weird. There was a part that I'm just, and then it was really, there was a couple of things in here I learned that I didn't know or hadn't heard before, but it was just kind of, if you've read Helter Skelter, or if you've read any of the other books on him, it might be a good little you know, audiobook to listen to, especially if you have Audible Plus, because it's only like 2 hours. So anyway, it was weird. I didn't enjoy it that much, but I did listen to it anyway. Whatever. Anyway, so then let's talk about my reading currently. So this is where it gets bad. So I started To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. And again, I was waiting. I think I must have started this on Monday after I finished The Duke and I. Because the next book that I'll show you was coming in the next day. So I wanted to have something to hold me over. You know, I love Becky Chambers in the Long Way to a Small Angry Planet and Close Encounter Orbit and Record of Spaceborne Few. I enjoyed all those books. I mean, I liked the first book the best out of all of them, but I liked them all for different reasons. I am 50 pages. I am 50 pages in this, let's see, what is it, 140, no, 142 page book. And I dislike this a lot. And I know a lot of people really like it. And I'm having trouble. It is so slow and boring to me. There's only one little light up so far of something new and fun. And everything else has just been kind of boring. So this is a team of 4 astronauts who have left the planet to go to another planet to do some research. And so they're way far away from the Earth. And they can't communicate except for, you know, it takes like a decade or so to get messages back and forth. So they're on this planet doing their scientific stuff. And I mean, there's a lot of nice relationship rep and stuff like that, and LGBTQ stuff. And but it's boring. Like, okay, I have 50 pages in. If anybody has read this and has gotten past 50 pages, does it get better? Because if it's like this the whole time, this is it. I'm not doing it anymore. So I don't know if I want to pick this up again. Again, I've liked her novels. I'm not clicking with this at all. It really is, it just is boring. And again, I picked this up for Space Opera September. It was supposed to be my third book, or third thing that I was going to read, but I don't know. I don't know if I can finish it. I'm not enjoying it. So if you guys have read it, let me know if I just need to persevere a little bit longer or give it a little bit more time. Again, 50 pages in and not liking it. So then, of course, I got this on Tuesday, The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. Again, I personally know this author, but I've not read this any of this book. I read some of her previous books that she's written and stuff, that because we were in a writing group together in Sacramento, so it's pretty cool because she does mention our group in the back, which was nice. Anyway, not by name, but our group by name, but not like individuals. It is still nice. Anyway, she's definitely one of my friends, and I'm really happy for her that she got this book deal. So this is book 1 of the, is it Drowning? See, that's a Drowning Empire. Sorry. Series. This follows several characters in different parts of this kind of island empire. Lynn is the daughter of the emperor, and she is not quite heir because she's had some issue, or she had a sickness that kind of took away some of her memories. So she's not who she used to be, kind of thing, and so he doesn't really trust her to be his heir. And so she has a competitor with another man that had brought in from somewhere else. And so there's kind of that tension, and then she's trying to learn the bone shard magic, which all the residents in the kingdom have to give a bone shard from behind their ear to out of their skull, and they can do magic with that, and only so many people can do it. There's the emperor and now his foster son or whatever, and then she is trying to get permission to do more than what she can do now. So there's that tension there, and then there's other stuff going on in the whole empire that might be some other bad people, another country that's trying to invade or do something, and then there's also the Emperor's Guards going out and doing other stuff and on another island with another character. And I mean, again, I only got did I get 2 chapters in? Yeah, I got 2 chapters in when I got it on Tuesday. So I didn't get super far. But after Wednesday, pretty much my brain shut off. And it's not this book's fault at all. I was enjoying this before I went to bed that night. But it was like Wednesday on, it became I was looking for a car and I was car shopping. So anyway, I'm going to pick this up. I've decided to let it rest and not force it right now, because that is the last thing I want to do is on a book I'm really highly anticipating to force it when I can't concentrate on books. So I will come back to this, and hopefully it'll only be a couple days, but I'm not positive. So I'm hoping within the next week I'll get to this, but it's still the book I'm going to read next. You know, I'm hoping I can, as I said, pick it up sometime this week. As I said, I liked it so far. I really want to read on. As I said, my attention span's been bad. So I picked up on, what day was it? Friday? I think it was Friday, because I didn't read, you know, I listened to that audiobook on Thursday, but I didn't read anything else. And then Wednesday, I don't remember. I don't think I read anything. And then Friday, I read, did I read 40 pages or 50 pages? I read 50 pages. No, 40 pages in Vision in Silver, which is by Anne Bishop. This is the 3rd book. And the other series, again, I've reread these last year and this year. This is my 3rd read of this. I just picked this up because it was one of the ones I had as a reread sitting around. And so I read a little bit of it. I might just read in this today just to get myself kind of back into reading. As I said, yesterday was so stressful with buying the car. I did not touch a book at all, you know, anything. And I don't know if today I feel like reading anything either. So this will be my backup if I need to. Again, Bone Shard Daughter is the one I really want to pick up, but I want to give it a couple of days of me reading normally before I pick that up. Does that make sense? I don't want to ruin that experience. So I will probably read this one. Again, it's a book I love. It's a urban fantasy where the whole North America is different and they're controlled by the others, who are, you know, shapeshifters and vampires and things, and they lease out land to the humans. And there's by this book, the conflict between the humans and the others is getting really tense. And again, we're following Meg and her kind of adopted family that she's at this courtyard with all the others, and then also the humans that have come to interact with them, that understand how important it is to keep the balance and to try to strive to let, you know, not do what the other humans are doing right now. Anyway, I really enjoy this series, of course. I don't know why I haven't gone on to read the other books yet. I guess it's because I have more mixed reviews on those, but these first 5 books are just fantastic. Anyway, so book number 3 on the reread. So I'm hoping to do that today. And then other than that, that's, as I said, I'm hoping I'll pick up the Bone Shard Daughter later this week. I'm hoping by then I'll de-stress this whole car buying thing. Again, I was not expecting to do that quite that quickly, but the deal, you know, worked out, and also I got it for what I wanted, even though I had to fight for it, blah, 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 but, you know, so it was stressful. My shoulders hurt, and I haven't done anything, so I think I was just tense, sitting there trying to get, like, no, I don't need that. I want this. This is, it was supposed to be not that stressful, and it was really stressful. So anyway, I don't know if you guys have bought a car anytime soon. And of course I bought it during like the air quality. I should mention the air quality is really bad here. Again, I'm in on the west side of Portland, so I'm in North Beaverton, and it is really bad. Today we have a lot of fog as well, which is bizarre. But it's still kind of the orangey haze. Really bad out there. It's not good to be outside too long. So I'm going to probably stay inside now for the rest of the day and not do a whole lot. I have a lot of laundry to do anyway. But I've been very lucky, and my parents are also not in a zone where the fires are that close to yet. And again, I'm in town, so I'm not close to anything either. So again, we're all okay, but we have backup plans for everything, of course. And so I think I want everybody who lives in Oregon, I hope you guys are all staying safe. Those in Washington and California who are also dealing with fires and the smoke and bad air quality, you know, keep safe as well. This is just a hard time for all of us, and it seemed ridiculous that I was buying a car, except that's just the way it happened. It's done. It's done. The car is in the garage. Anyway, so let me know how you guys are doing. I hope you guys are staying safe, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.